I feel like the exercise part, after the exercise part and the stretching, because I'll be forgetting to stretch, we downhill. Okay, we downhill. And to be honest, I like to get a lot of my morning routines done before I even hit the app, because it just gives me more dopamine to hit done or whatever, to mark things complete. So um once you get your exercise done, you should be downhill. So let's go to the next one. You can find a link to this app at the top of the description of this video, and you can like, comment, and subscribe if you still survive those last 5 jumping jacks. I'll mark this complete because we did our 5 jumping jacks for the day. Yay! And I'm gonna hit next. All right, now we gotta read. Mm, 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 mm. Pick an area in your life where you want to improve. Find an expert on that subject. Even just a few minutes will do so much for you today. I believe it. I believe it. Reading is like a whole nother state in mind. In fact, I don't want it to take me off track, but if you go to your profile, no, if you go to your profile picture and go to training, it's a good training that Paul Hutchings did. What's the title of that video, Paul? What's the title? I don't know, but it's about making reading a habit, right? And so you want to at least one book. So I haven't narrowed down my schedule too much yet, or enough yet, to, because I'm very particular. I'm very particular, and I want to read one book forever, right? I don't do it every day yet. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to y'all. I don't do it every day, but we supposed to. I do it a lot more, and my goal is to read this book every day for the rest of my life. Okay, 15 minutes of this book. This is the Think and Grow Rich book, and this was actually a gift from Paul Hutchings. But anyway, my goal is to read this book 15 minutes a day. Now, I also have a goal for an additional 15 minutes on a different subject. It could be whatever, a different book, right? And those books will rotate. But I haven't made it to where I'm consistently reading this every day for 15 minutes, and because of time. So I haven't made it to the additional book. Unless let's just say reading is definitely important. It takes you into another state. Okay, I'll be doing a video on when I do read my other books, right? Sometimes I read it online, so I'll be doing a video on that, on how I like to focus on it and how I do it online, which is a little different. It was introduced to me. I am a paper book person, and what was introduced to me was doing it on like a Kindle, right? And the way it was introduced, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this, and I started doing it, and that was good too. But just to give you an idea, I'm at 3 minutes, so I think I have a little bit of time of how I interpreted reading and the importance of it when I was younger. And I would say that I've heard people say, you got to read, right? I went to school. Reading is important, all that good stuff. I heard of personal development books. It sounded like the worst thing on the planet to me. It sounded so boring. Like, why would I read this book? It was like taking the tree bark and rubbing it on my face. I don't want to do it, right? And even though you hear people say you got to be smart, you got to read, they don't really give you the true power of reading. You don't really understand it until you understand it. You got to get in there and do it. And so, like, it wasn't until I started getting my life changed after I read what was in the book that I understood the power of reading the books, right? The power of tapping into someone's brain and someone's knowledge. Like, I didn't have to do all of the stuff and the grunt work that Napoleon Hill had to do. But guess what? I can open this book up and read it, and I can get it for virtually free. Well, free. I guess somebody had to pay for it. Paul, thank you. But every day it's a free thing I get to do. I get to just open this book up and read it. And because of that, I have tapped into Napoleon Hill's knowledge of his success formula. Because of other copywriters, I'm able to read their books and tap into their knowledge. I don't have to go and do all the crap that they did. I don't have to learn the long way. I have a shorter path to learning some of the things that they've done. Now, when you read the stuff, you want to implement it, right? Because not much is going to happen if you don't implement what you're reading, but it's so powerful. And I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me this? Right? Even though people were telling me to read, why didn't nobody tell me this? Hey, no, I believe one of the problems around people who didn't grow up reading books and stuff like that, I believe one of the problem is because the people that raised them didn't grow up reading books a lot. Now, my dad didn't read a lot. He was really good with vocabulary, and that's how I was like, okay, he's good at vocabulary. He's good at vocabulary, but no one ever came to me and said, this book could change your life, right? And because of that, I had no interest. So what I'm telling you is this book and many other books can change your life, right? And it brings on a certain type of mental state that I just can't explain. You have to do it. And I was so grateful when Paul said on a call the other day, now I'm pushing the time, pushing my luck, right? When he said on the call today that, or the training, I think he mentioned it on the training too, that if you, he talked to people who never read, they went out and bought a book because they didn't have a book to read, before they went through this. And he asked them if they sat down at a desk and did the, like a pen and a highlighter or both and just read, and they just said no. And he was like, well, try that. And basically it was kind of weird, but it wasn't weird because I feel like I've been through that. Like, no, I'm not reading. I don't have any interest in reading. But it's not until you sit down at this desk or at your desk, open that book up and smell the pages and read and highlight and things like that, that you won't understand its power. And I can go on and on and on. But you definitely want to read as much as possible. That's why I need to quickly get my second book in ASAP with my second 15-minute session. Okay, so I read a whole bunch of books before this one, right? This is not the only book I read, but this is my goal, to read this book 15 minutes a day. But it's a whole bunch of books that actually changed my life. Some of the things that I learned in that book will be in that bonus that I'll give away if you purchase this LetsGoal app. I actually talk about it. And I think one of the strategies basically that I use to help me achieve goals and attract the things I love and want towards me, I learned in a book. Okay. And it worked amazingly well. Then I have another exercise that I learned in the book that allowed me to find my long lost brother. And that's the crazy thing. So had I not picked up that book and read it, I could have possibly been sitting here January 24th, 2024. I could have possibly been sitting here on 24/24, not ever having found my long lost brother, because I didn't pick up that one book that allowed me to find my long lost brother using some type of mental exercise. I still don't understand it, but it worked. Okay. So anyway, that's all I have for you. Make sure you read. I'm going to mark this complete, and we'll see what's on the other side.